So I wanted to make a video regarding Phil Spencer's most recent comment. He made a comment regarding his stance on gaming and how he may feel that exclusive games won't exactly change where Xbox is. And matter of fact, here, I'll just go ahead and play the clip for you.
Citizen, they've invested a ton in our platform, but we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way.
Now, I feel like with him saying that, it's easy to take that out of context and it sounds almost like it sounds like defeat, or it may sound like, oh, Xbox basically just surrendered, but I don't really think that's the case. And I kind of want to just discuss that a little bit. I don't want this video to be too long because Lord knows I could ramble about this all day, but I feel like what he means rather is that it's no secret that Xbox is in third place. Okay, let's not pretend like that's not the situation. But when you look at this past generation, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One generation, where a lot of people built their library of games, Sony really cemented themselves as the market leader. When you look at all of the exclusive deals, when you look at just everything they've done with their exclusive catalog in general, not even just exclusive deals, but their acquisitions and the games they've made for their platform, it really makes a difference. To take, for example, I used to work at a job and I remember I overheard this conversation. He was talking about Hogwarts Legacy. Now, this was, I think, last year-ish. Like, I want to say towards the middle part of last year. And he was talking about Hogwarts Legacy, and he was upset that it was a PlayStation exclusive. And for those of you who don't know, that game was heavily marketed on the PlayStation side. And he saw an ad video that led him to believe that. And if you guys didn't know as well, Hogwarts Legacy also has exclusive content on PlayStation. It's timed exclusive, but it's exclusive nonetheless. But yeah, he thought that. He thought it was a PlayStation exclusive game. And I had to show him on my phone that, you can buy it other places. You can get it on Xbox, or you can get it on Steam. It's not just a PlayStation exclusive. But that right there tells you they have such a foothold. But yeah, I had to educate him on that. And that just goes to show you, if he didn't know, what about the average Joe? How many average Joes think that Call of Duty is only on PlayStation? That exclusive the exclusivity of a lot of that content and the way that it's marketed on the PlayStation side can lead one to believe that it's exclusive. And there's a lot of games like that, including, their own first party games, which naturally they would, because they are first party. Why would they go anywhere else? But I feel like they've cemented themselves so deeply in this generation, or the last generation, and it's kind of carrying over. One thing that was talked about as well was the whole digital library thing. And the truth of the matter is that it's a very real thing. A lot of people wanted, they bought a PS4, they experienced all those games, and naturally they're going to want to carry their library over to the PlayStation 5. And Starfield will not come out and be a 10 out of 10. Let's say the game just gets all the best reviews. Let's say it's a 95 on Metacritic. That's not going to shift console sales overnight. Okay? The way I interpreted that message was that good games will not change anything immediately. Okay? They're going to need output that is consistent. Now, at the end of the day, will games change things? Yes, they will. But I think what he meant was that the consistency is what is gonna make a difference. Hellblade and Starfield coming out, they will not make you sell your PS5, okay? I think that's the message he was trying to send. I feel that if Xbox worked on communication, they worked on consistency, and above all else, they worked on putting out very good quality games, okay? Games that are very just precise, good, and they get to a point where they're known for their quality games. All right, because that's what PlayStation is known for. That's what Nintendo is known for. Quality first-party titles. If they can get on a consistent track with that, I do believe they can then build themselves back up. They can get close to that market leader and perhaps maybe even become that again, because they had a strong start with the 360. The Xbox One pretty much diminished all of that. And now with the Xbox Series X and S, if they continue to just put out games, if we can get more games like Hi-Fi Rush, I think Xbox will be in a good place. Let's say that the next 4 or 5 games they put out are as polished as Hi-Fi Rush. I do believe that you'll see things start to shift. You'll see an increase in console sales, and above all else, Game Pass. Because let's be real, Xbox is not trying to sell you Xboxes. That's not how that division is afloat. That's how Sony is running their business, and that's why they're so tight with exclusivity. Xbox wants to focus on Game Pass, not just a third-party Game Pass machine where you can play Wolong and your Atomic Hearts, but what they want is obviously to get out good games, but put them available on Game Pass. Game Pass is where they want their players to be, whether it's on PC or whether it's, on Xbox. That's their whole thing. That's why Game Pass is the big push for Microsoft. That's why they realized that they were down 3-1 and they needed something. They needed a niche in this market to really blow up in. And Game Pass just happened to be what they came up with, and it works. It's good. It's great. I love it when a good game is on Game Pass. Wolong, for example, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. That game came to Game Pass, and it is literally on my Game of the Year list. It's a phenomenal game. But going back to what he said, I think he just means that he doesn't see it happening overnight. Good games and that consistency of good games is what's going to make the difference. But like Starfield, it's not enough. I think there's so much pressure on that game, which kind of isn't fair, but there's so much pressure on that game to just be damn near perfect that it's just unfair. But that game alone is not going to turn the tide. It's not going to make console sales just go up. It's not going to make them the market leader. One game is not going to do that. Consistency is going to do that. And I think that's what he meant. I don't think he meant that, there's no way we could ever be the market leader or compete with Sony if we just make good games. I don't think that's not the message he was trying to send. I believe he sort of misspoke there, but at the end of the day, good games can make a difference. Xbox is not trying to sell you consoles. They're trying to sell you Game Pass subscriptions, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. I feel that's what makes them unique in this space. You really don't have anyone in this industry doing what Microsoft is doing with Game Pass. I mean, you do have other services, like you have the EA Play Pro, you have the Ubisoft Plus, but as far as Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft is the only one doing the Game Pass thing. It's so successful that even Sony is starting to copy it. Okay, so there you go. And I really feel that, and I guess I kind of just want to talk about Starfield a little bit. I'm getting off topic because I know the whole purpose of this video was to talk about what Phil Spencer said, but I kind of want to talk about like killer apps. I really feel like this generation so far, there is no killer app for either platform. I do think that's going to change, but what I feel like Starfield may not be the game to just shift everything, but it will be a good start. If the game is good, this will be a very good firm planting for Microsoft to go forward. Because let's be honest, there's no killer app for either platform. What does Sony have? Do they have good games? Of course, they have great games. Your God of War, your Spider-Man, you got Final Fantasy 16 coming out. Those are not killer apps. Those are not the reason you are one game. No one bought a PlayStation 5 to play God of War. And if they did, it's not many of those people. Okay, it's just not. No one is buying a PlayStation just for Spider-Man. I mean, there may be a collection of games that they want to play, like your Returnals, your Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, your Last of Us, but God of War is not selling consoles, I don't believe. Horizon Forbidden West, that's not a killer app. It's a great, phenomenal game, but I just don't think it's a killer app. The only killer app I've seen in like the last 10 years, I feel, this is just all opinion at this point, is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The attachment rate to that in the Switch is actually kind of crazy. I know that people will buy a Switch just to play that and anything Mario. Those to me are killer apps. I feel Starfield could be a killer app. When you look at everything that game is doing, when you look at the size of that game, like what was it, 100 or I think 100 planets and it was something crazy. It was a lot of systems. I know a lot of systems, a lot of planets, big, massive space like Mass Effect like world. I mean, or galaxy, I should say, really. That game is big. It's very massive, and if they can somehow figure out a way to get modding on the consoles, man, the sky is the limit. That game can be the killer app. I do think it can be the killer app. It can be the next Fallout. It can be the next Skyrim. I really do think that. And I feel if they do land properly with Starfield, it could be a good tide. It could be a good first step to really building up and being what Microsoft wants to be. They can sell those Game Pass subscriptions, not with just the absence of forgetting that these games actually cost $70, but more so that we have the great games, we have a great service, we have the good entry fee being $15. I mean, or even $10 if you're just playing on the consoles. So that's all I want to talk about. This video is getting way too long. I just wanted to talk about what Phil Spencer said. I just felt that he sort of misspoke, and I guess I don't want to say I wanted to speak for him, but I kind of wanted to clear up, I feel, what he meant, because I've been seeing so many people take what he said and flip it around and act like it's something that it's not. And I just had to make a video on this. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. You know, the ratings, that type of stuff helps. Share on your favorite social media platform, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, have a great day.